A good has a unitary price elasticity demand, and at a price of $20, a firm sells 40,000 units. How many will the firm sell if it charges a price of $5? The most important thing you need to know here is that we're dealing with the price elasticity of demand, which will be negative, and it is unitary, which means the percentage change in quantity will be equal to the percentage change in price, unitary. Okay. Also, a second thing that you need to know, when we have a unitary price elasticity of demand, the total expenditure will be the same as when the price changes. So here it is 20 times 40,000 units, which is 800,000. And here we could expect whatever quantity this is, how many will the firm sell if a price of $5. So $5 times whatever the new quantity is will be 800,000 because of this term unit price elasticity of demand. So the price drops 75% from 20 to 5. So that means the percentage change in price is negative. So in order to have a negative price elasticity of demand, we know that the percentage change in quantity demanded will be positive or greater than 40,000 units. So 20 times 40,000 is 800,000. Now this one is how many will the firm sell if it charges a price of $5. We need an answer A, B, or C, or D that will allow the total expenditure to be 800,000 given the new price. So $5 times 160,000 units will give us the 800,000 that we need because it is a unitary price elasticity of demand. C is the correct answer. In this question, the cross elasticity of demand between two products, X and Y, is negative. What could be the immediate effect of a rise in the price of good Y? Okay, so again, the cross elasticity is the percent change in price of one product and given the percent change in quantity demanded of another product. Now, if this is negative, that means either the percent change in price is of the first product is negative, or the percent change in quantity demanded of the second product is negative. Okay, what rise on the price of product Y? So that means the first product Y, is increasing in price. So that means to be negative, it means the quantity demanded of X must be dropping. So we're looking for something that is dropping. So the answer here is A. Quantity demanded of X, the other product, will fall. Again, the price, this term cross elasticity of demand, it measures the percent change in, it measures the relationship between the percent change in price of one good in terms of the percentage change in quantity demanded of another good. So in this example, they say the cross elasticity of demand is negative. What would be the immediate effect of the rise in price of Y on this other good X? So if the price of Y rose, so the percent change in P is increasing, and we know that the overall change is negative, what happens to X? So we know that the quantity demanded of the product of X will fall. So these others just don't make any sense. The cross elasticity of demand will rise. That doesn't make sense. You must understand that the percent change in quantity demanded of a second good over the percent change in price over the original good. Moving on. Number 8. The table gives the short-run supply schedule of 3 firms, X, Y, and Z, which comprises an industry. Okay, so the quantity supplied is here, firm X, firm Y, firm Z, and these are the price levels. So if I sum horizontally, I can know the supply for this industry. This is very basic. So at the price of 1, if this is the only 3 firms producing in this industry, at the price of $1, the only quantity supplied is 200. If the price is $2, the quantity supplied is 300 plus the 100 for firm Y, and there's none from firm Z. So at $2 in this industry, it is 400. At the price of 3, we have 400 quantity plus 160, that's 560, plus 140, that leaves us with a specific quantity. And here, 4, at the price of 4, we have 500 plus 300 plus 200. Now the question asks, which is a point on the short run supply schedule of this industry? Well, we just add horizontally, and we find that the only one that makes sense is, let me check again, C. C. At the price of 3, I add 400 plus 160, that's 560, plus 140, that gives me 700. At the price of 3, I get 700. These others are wrong because look, at the price of 1, we only have 200. There's nothing produced here, nothing produced here, 200. Look at this. A says at the price of 1, you get 600, so that's wrong. The same with this and this. At each of these levels, when I sum horizontally, that's what it means, supply schedule, I do not get the level that is necessary, the quantity supplied. Number 9, the diagram shows the demand and supply curves of the commodity before and after a specific tax is removed. What is the tax per unit of output, and what is the price after the removal of the tax? Okay, so we're looking at during the tax and removing the tax. So as we know, when we tax something, at each individual price, the producer produces less, right? So at $2 before the tax, we are here. After the tax, we are here. At this, let's go here. At this price, the quantity supplied was here, but after the tax, we're not producing as much. And the whole line shifts because at every price we are taxed. Okay. Another thing is the quantity supplied is subtracted at each point by the tax itself. So we go at this point here, QD, say, let's call this the quantity demanded. The price for each quantity demanded rises by the level of the tax. Okay, so before is here at this price. Now the tax comes at this same level. The quantity demanded price is higher to reflect the tax. See? So here, the quantity demanded, let's say at some random level here, before the tax was here. And because there is a tax, the tax makes each good more expensive. You have the price of the original good plus how much the individual tax is. So you're here. Okay. Every level is like that. Here, this is before the tax, and this is the price after the tax. This area here, this line, not area, this space here is the per unit price of the tax. And here to here, 6 to 12, you can see that the tax is $6. And again, here, originally quantity demanded was here. Now it's way up here. For this same quantity, the price has increased for each quantity demanded. So from 2 to 8, we have 6. Okay, so what is the tax per unit of output? Well, again, I'll make the window a little smaller. We can say the tax per unit is 6 because here at each quantity demanded, the price of that quantity demand increased by 6. 6 to 12, and here you can see 2 to 8. Okay, that's the tax per unit. That's this. Now, price after the removal of the tax is, now that the tax is gone, imagine this line being erased. What is the equilibrium? 6. Again, the price is 6. Okay, so during the tax, each quantity demanded is more expensive. You could imagine paying $2 for a soda, and then now there's a 50% tax. Now you don't pay $2, you pay more than $2. You see, the original price plus the tax. So this is the level. This was the price plus the tax for each unit. And then now that the tax is removed, this line is gone. I wish I could erase it, but I can't. This is the equilibrium after the tax. This line is gone now. We're left with just one line, one demand curve at this price level. You see? Okay, moving on. Number 10. The demand for a good falls at the same time as its cost of production decrease. What will be the combined effect of these changes on the price and quantity of the supplied good? Okay, in this example, we can see the demand for a good falls. So that means if we have a demand curve here, imaginary, you have to use your imagination, and the price level falls here, demand falls, that means people want less. You can see the line in your imagination. And it's looking like this. Now, if the demand falls and we're here, now we dropped along the curve here. Notice that our P has also dropped. So the P will decrease. Okay. Now that could mean anything for the quantity supplied, because the producer has an opportunity to either produce more, produce less, or stay the same. So we're not sure exactly what the producer will do given the amount of demand of production decrease. So the answer to this question is B, a decrease in price. It's obvious that if the demand is decreasing, then the price will have to drop. But we're not certain if the producer will produce less in the short run here. So the answer here is B. Number 11. The diagram shows the effect of an imposition of a tax equal to FG on a commodity. Which area represents the reduction of consumer surplus? Okay, a quick review. Consumer surplus is this triangle below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price. At this point, at every point here, along the consumer, along this demand curve, at this point, I'm willing to pay this price. Okay. For this quantity, I'm willing to pay this price. For this quantity here, I'm willing to pay this price, and so on. So this represents the consumer willing to pay more at this level than what the actual equilibrium price is. I'm willing to pay more at these points, way here. So this area is called the consumer surplus, where the consumer is willing to pay more at this quantity demanded. I'm willing to pay this much, but he finds out, or she finds out, that she only has to pay this much. So this distance from here to here is the consumer surplus. And at every point from along this demand curve and above the price, equilibrium price, this area is called the consumer surplus, above this equilibrium price and below the demand curve. Because again, I'm willing to pay higher for this quantity, and at this price. I'm willing to pay higher, but I find out that I only have to pay this much. So between this distance and this distance, that is my consumer surplus. Now, which area represents the reduction in consumer surplus? Well, looking at the answer here, if all of this triangle here is my consumer surplus, then this square plus this smaller triangle represents the area that I could lose under my consumer surplus. So, looking at the answers, this area, this U, this trapezoid shape here, this X, this triangle, and this Y represents pieces of this triangle that could be missing as a result of consumer surplus. C is the correct answer here. U plus X plus Y. It cuts the triangle that is my consumer surplus. The diagram in this question, and I'll zoom out a little bit, okay? In this question, the diagram shows the average world price of coffee in U.S. cents per pound between 1997 and 2005. So we have this graphic here. Which event is consistent with the price behavior shown in the specified time period? Okay, so we're reading a graph. Okay, the choices are A, a continuous rise in price between 1997 and 2001. So let's look at here. 1997, we can see that the price is dropping, and then goes up. So it's not a continuous rise. So A is wrong. So it's dropping between 1997 and 2001. It says a continuous rise. Well, no, it's dropping. B, the entry into the market of new producers of coffee between 1997 and 2001. That is the correct answer, actually. Okay, the entry to the market of new producers of coffee between 1997 and 2001. Well, look at this. We know that when competition comes in, we move away from a monopoly until a market economy. When the monopolist is in charge, he is cutting down his quantity supplied to make sure that his profits are high. And because there's a limited number of companies producing a good, the price will stay high. Now, if more companies come in, that means that the one monopolist isn't allowed to limit his quantity anymore, but there's more quantity in the marketplace. So one seller keeps the quantity low and the price is high. 2, 3, 4 competitors come into the market. All of a sudden, more quantity is available. And because there's more available, the price of coffee will fall because the competitors are competing with each other. Because if they don't sell it at the lowest price available, then people will leave their store and go to another store. So what you see here, the entry to the market of new producers of coffee between 1997 and 2001, because you see the price falling. Okay. C, a series of good coffee harvests between 2001 and 2005. Irrelevant. It's just saying that the price is going up. So that's not relevant. Increasing health of worries about drinking coffee between 2000 and 2005. Well, we can see that it's going up. The price is going up. So that's not really relevant. Okay. Number 13. What is not a function of the price mechanism? Okay. To ensure that firms make profit. To permit consumers to express their preferences, to ration scarce resources, to signal where resources are required. The answer here is A, to ensure that firms make profit. This is pretty obvious, because what is a function of the price mechanism? The price mechanism is the mechanism that allows the market to determine what prices are. Prices and quantity. It is the very definition of how prices are made. So if I'm running a shop, my friend running a shop, we're selling goods and services. If his prices are too high, I'm gonna go to the other shop, or you will go to the other shop. So if there are 5 shops, we're gonna go to the lowest price, keeping in account that we know that the quality of all of them are equal. So the mechanism sets the price, but is not concerned about if one of the companies is selling or not that month. It is not to ensure that firms make profit. The price mechanism makes sure that the consumer chooses the price and quantity demanded that is good for their pocket, not necessarily firms. Here's the other ones. To permit consumers to express their preferences. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So the consumers express their preferences about what price and quantity that they want, and to ration scarce resources, because we won't produce more than necessary to make a profit, and to signal where resources are required. These 3 are components of the price mechanism. What is not a function of the price mechanism? A.